2018 GSL Season 2 Goddess Overgrowth.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind.
I think we barely got the sign on camera.
Yeah.
DoKyung versus INnoVation is the final match. These are the two remaining players in the round of 32. Everybody else is in the round of 16 or dead.
That's right. Wow, that's a good way to put that right there.
Yeah.
DoKyung, he got 2-0'd before. He barely beat Ryung. I actually thought Ryung should have won the series overall, but DoKyung pulls it out somehow.
A very confusing game 3. I think it's something that, I don't know, we might have to go back and look at it again because it just did not look like a normal GSL game.
No.
A lot of hiccups there, a lot of bumps in the road, but no matter, DoKyung survives, and therefore he is the one who is worthy to face off against INnoVation. Now, there is a clear perception in skill here that is different between these two. I mean, everybody worships INnoVation, everybody studies him. DoKyung is the underdog, he is the rookie. INnoVation is the Goliath, and DoKyung is the David.
Keep going.
One guy should be better than the others, but an upset could happen. Man, did I bungle that metaphor. You never call one guy the Goliath, the other guy the David. You got to do it the other way around, the David versus Goliath.
Not just that, but the David and the Goliath.
DoKyung.
It's like,
Oh, gosh.
there he is, the David.
The David. He's got his sling ready. INnoVation over here. The Goliath.
INnoVation.
9 feet tall. Hands the size of baseball mittens, metaphorically speaking.
Almost true, too. He's actually pretty tall. Bet she's got big hands, too.
So DoKyung going to come out here and try to scout. Now, INnoVation, in some sense, an even more advantageous spot. Had time to rest as the losers match was played out. Had time to get more information as DoKyung's games are played publicly here in the studio.
And, I think it's, again, DoKyung should be more warmed up now, less nervous now. He's already lost INnoVation about as poorly as you can. So the pressure should be, relieved a little bit, I guess. That's always something you do have to take into consideration, right? Like, can it get worse against INnoVation? No, not too much worse. Than
Being warmed up is very important.
Yeah. And he's been playing, he just played that series, same matchup, and here he's playing it again. So I give DoKyung I think it's going to be a better series than what we saw previously. It's just, is he going to stay with this passive macro play? Because against INnoVation, it can be a little bit tough. But INnoVation has played kind of aggressively. So if he nails his defense, that's somewhere where maybe he can make something happen too. The Reaper goes back there. He's like, I'm not losing to anything.
Yeah, it's not going to be a proxy here. But there might be a proxy here.
And then those rocks fall on the probe.
That's right, 'cause that's how good he is. Oh my God, that joke is so funny. In case you guys are missing it, it was, was it INnoVation against Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw INnoVation gun down like these rocks that landed on 3 queens, killing them and blocking out banelings. And since then, I'm just having these moments in my head of rocks falling on armies just randomly, like watching the workers' mind, and suddenly INnoVation shoots down rocks from somewhere we didn't see, and they crush the workers.
It's amazing.
So there's been a proxied starport.
Yeah. What's he going to make out of there? Think just a Liberator? Or what?
I would guess a Liberator.
Like, I guess you could go Proxy Banshee. That definitely can be very good. Especially considering that he normally flies into Widow Mines with his Oracles, right? You won't be able to see it.
That is true.
Yeah, he's making a tech lab on it, so Proxy Banshee it is. Phoenixes are being made right now, so that Cloak Banshee actually kind of came back because of how popular Starport was. Which sounds really silly.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds counterintuitive, but go on.
Yeah, well, Phoenixes obviously beat Banshees in a fight, but not if you can't see them. You're very low on detection, especially now that the Widow Mines you just see them after they shoot, right? So it's not like you even need solid detection.
Right.
You can actually play kind of without detection, and really Banshees are the only thing that are going to really screw you up. So,
And the funny thing is, if you have Oracles and you could tag them, well, then that's less another unit that doesn't really hit air, you know? So the whole thing's kind of funny.
yeah, it's weird how it works out, but it does work out. So he's making a Robo. Obviously, you can get observers with this and really shut down Banshees, but this is not like terrible by INnoVation by any means. I think he has real potential to get a bunch of probes with this.
Damn, you win again. You are good at Caster Chicken.
I looked at Tasis, wondering if he was going to talk.
I had nothing to say. I thought you'd just
Tasis,
kind of take over.
I thought we went over this, man, that you will never beat me in Caster
I
Chicken.
shook my head twice, and then you just kept nodding. I'm like, damn,
I will
this guy's a pro.
I'll live in my mom's attic with my children and wife. I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine losing Caster Chicken to you. Look at this. A lot of kills.
Yeah, well, this is doing exactly what it was intended to do here. And 8 probes down. Phoenix has had to be pulled back. There is a second Banshee coming up. Now, I think DoKyung is well aware that the angle and the timing that came in there. So he's looking for this, and he does find this.
Yeah, I think he might cancel.
Yeah. I'm like, no, he's fine. He'll go back over there and kill 8 more probes.
I know, he just lets it finish.
Okay. Oh, it's a land again.
Makes another Banshee. Do it.
Do it.
Do it,
Chicken.
Oh my god. You just called INnoVation a chicken because
Yeah.
he didn't do a dare that we gave him that he's not listening to.
I know.
I love
That's
it.
how wild we are. Okay, Widowmine does connect on some of those, but there's a lot of SCVs being killed off here.
Yeah, definitely some decent damage. Doesn't lose the Phoenixes, so that's cool.
Yeah, if they're still alive, I mean, that's fine. That's another pickup, another free SCV kill you can get. The thing I'm really waiting for is when INnoVation begins to push, and what does it look like when DoKyung tries to hold it? Because DoKyung's had some very bumpy fights. Up.
By the way,
Submit to me. Back down onto the add-on.
if he had made another Banshee there, you would have gotten a ton of kills.
It's true.
Looks like Colossus Tech on the way. So a little bit of Colossus Phoenix. We've seen a little bit of a return of that style, which is kind of neat. And I think it's especially good on a map like this with that back third. Like, you are so defended.
Yeah.
You can easily go Colossus, 3 bases, and Phoenixes and have almost no ground army because you don't even really have to spread.
And it still works well against these really chunky Terran armies. Like, they just have a lot of girth and bulk. You could still kind of do this splash damage to it and just kind of keep them at bay.
Yeah.
Now, these smaller reinforcements can be picked up.
And look at that. Oh my god,
the
Medivacs right there.
Medivacs!
Yeah. Forget about the Marauder.
Oh my god, is
Medivac.
DoKyung going to win this? This is crazy.
I tell you what, his build is doing much better right now.
Well, this
he
was-
lost a bunch of pros, so he's fine.
This was kind of the theme, DoKyung, was that his builds look really good. It's just how does he execute them?
Yeah, and I mean, the Banshee did all right, and INnoVation's macroing up, but DoKyung's in a winning position right now. Not like a position where he's going to win, but he has an advantage, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, I mean, things are going his way. So far, so good. Now, of course, this is INnoVation, who's just sort of a supercomputer-esque player. He just continues to grow and grow and emotionlessly correct his play. So, I mean, that is also a factor as well, as the type of player this is. INnoVation is going for the outgrowth style. He is going to take that free base in the back. DoKyung might be safe, but he certainly doesn't seem to be able to move out and attack.
No, certainly not yet. But you know what? Like, I don't think that there's any reason for him to do that. If he just focuses on upgrades and expanding and not taking damage, that's like really easy to do when you... The thing is, to get into this type of position where your opponent has attempted aggression a couple times and you've stomped it, or like you've got a little bit of a tech advantage, that part is the hard part. Now, sitting back defending with all this stuff that you've got while getting bigger, that's a lot easier. If he just does that and then hits a sharp attack, that becomes really hard for INnoVation to hold on against.
Very true. Okay, and again, with these little Phoenixes coming out here, this is really handy. You are just bleeding out at workers, and this can add up more and more and more later on. INnoVation, though, planting some Widow Mines out here, which I think is a really intelligent move, especially when the Phoenixes are bunched up like this, and they've oftentimes lost shields due to the Marines.
Ooh. This is 3 Phoenixes in the span of no time at all.
Wow. Really wondering if INnoVation's going to scan there. That's exactly where the observer would be.
That's a great place for an observer.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of Vikings he's making. Oh, wow.
4 at a time.
Yeah, he's getting a Raven as well, which is really cool. I think, obviously, if you can throw down an anti-armor missile on those Phoenixes, you're going to erase them so quickly. Look at this. He's moving out against 6 Phoenixes with... against 6 Vikings with 6 Phoenixes. DoKyung will make him lift this base.
If what you're saying is right, yeah, the ground damage should be so heavy.
Yeah.
That there's nothing that can be done to contest it.
The Viking count is not large enough.
But with the next 4 coming out here, it will be large enough.
Oh my God, he's missing this amazing opportunity right now. Okay, he was waiting for a prism. I can't really blame him that. It is time though. No, keep those back. Just tank Viking shots with that. Oh my God, he kills the Raven before anything happens there. That blink forward I'm not as much of a fan of. I think defensive blinks here are so much better.
You know, these Colossi are not actually hitting the army, they're hitting workers.
Yeah. That was weird. Like, he blinked forward his army and then didn't have the Colossus actually helping. Definitely mismanaged here by DoKyung without any doubt.
But it seems like DoKyung might still be doing just enough damage.
Yeah, it was enough. Look at the damage done. 22 SCVs killed. Very solid. And he's got 2 forges at home, let's not forget.
That's very true. I have to say, I think he could have actually won the game with that fight if the Colossi were better players.
Yeah, if he just microed, like the blink forward was bad and then leaving the Colossi back there, you can't blame him on that, I guess, because the SCVs were there. But like,
this is getting worse and worse and worse. This Widow Mine is slowly getting to the ranks of a serial killer with how many probes it's taken out.
Well, at least it's ensuring he's not going to get supply blocked this game.
That is true. The glass is half full.
Yeah.
So, more Colossi being made. Now, I feel like INnoVation has reverted to the exact right move. He just switched bases where DoKyung did not want to commit. And now it's like we're back to square one here. Except that the Colossi count was reset, and the units that INnoVation wants to make, they don't increment out one by one. You can make them in waves. So I'm starting to think that even though DoKyung has had a very impressive first 10 minutes, the second half of this game may not be the same as the first.
Yeah, he doesn't have a very good probe count. He hasn't really grown in other ways. He's had 2 forges for a really long time, but he just stopped at 2-2. Like, he could actually have his 3-3 about as far along as INnoVation's 2-2. And, like, if you're up 2 upgrades against Terran consistently, it's so hard for them to take any battles.
You know, this high ground area that INnoVation keeps utilizing has really been the pebble in the shoe here for DoKyung. I mean, there's been so many moments where...
In the shoe under the mattresses.
This is just like... He's taken so much damage from this.
Did he think a drop was coming to his main? Like, that's a funny little warping location, right?
You know what? I think he actually did. I think DoKyung has so much adrenaline going through his system right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of vision either, does he?
No, he has almost none on the map. I feel as though he kind of knows how to get, or how to almost get to where he needs to be. But the engages are a little bit wonky. Like, he actually should have killed INnoVation with those Colossi.
Yes, that attack in the hands of a different, like a stats, a hero, an SOS, a classic. I mean, especially a classic. Your INnoVation's dead there, just dead.
But I think what happens is it starts to happen, and he goes, whoa!
Yeah. It's like, blink forward! It's like, well, no.
And now I think with the next attack in, I think especially because the Colossus count was reset, really, the first wave that you attack in with the Colossi, they're just so important. Because after that, if you lose all those Colossi, unless you have lots of Robos, and you probably won't. Okay, hold up. Here we go.
Yeah, you can't really attack in. That's enough Liberators that it makes it super cost efficient. You see a Raven there as well, which is super fearsome. And the upgrades are actually tied now. Yeah, no, don't attack in there. All your units are orange. You're going to be red with embarrassment if you attack in. That's for sure.
Now maybe INnoVation inches too far out.
No,
oh my God.
This is we'll see. He might be able to break him.
Okay. Colossi, there's only 2 remaining now. There are still several Liberation fields down here.
Yeah. But the Liberators are being picked off, slowly but surely.
You know what? The Colossi shots really connected well there, and there may not be enough infantry here.
He already had an advantage from earlier on as well. That was like, INnoVation did as best he could to try to make that a fight that wasn't going to go well, and he almost did. Yeah.
I think INnoVation's going to die in game 1.
Yeah, it does look that way.
This Archon's going to tear through all these SCVs.
Do you see
the last
this,
Liberator
Do you see all these stalkers right-clicked on that? Oh my God.
Okay, another blink forward. The last Liberator's going to go down. Now, the buildings are boxy enough that there's obstructions where the Zealots can't quite be utilized, the Stalkers can't quite get in there and do the damage they want to do. However, the location that DoKyung controls here denies the 4th base just because of where the Warp Prism is. You can also hit the base from the low ground, GG.
Yeah.
DoKyung may end up eliminating INnoVation.
So that was, he brute forced through there at the end. Like that, his control was not really very good. This game, his engagements actually were not very good, but he got himself into a position with the correct tech for the first attack, which got him way ahead, and then he just kind of made a bunch of units.
How many GSL Code S's has INnoVation won?
3 with a 2nd place as well.
And how many GSL Code S's has DoKyung won, formerly known as Billowy?
I think it's 2.
It's 2? I think the correct answer is it's never happened before.
Oh my God, you're right, actually.
And despite DoKyung having a bumpy start here today, we're in the final best of 3, and he very well could end up knocking out INnoVation. INnoVation needs to make some serious adjustments. DoKyung has been having some bumpy games, but in the end, he has enough to muscle through.
Yeah.
A win is a win. He just needs one more. Can DoKyung have the upset of the round of 32? Let's find out. Even the lyrics have INnoVation in it. So all odds are against DoKyung, but he's still doing it.
DoKyung.
Some things to say about that last match. I'm gonna let the GSL voice finish though.
INnoVation.
So the Phoenix Colossus composition, we've seen a minor comeback in recent weeks. People have been utilizing some Phoenixes, getting into Colossus tech. Obviously, I've been pretty outspoken that I think that map in particular is quite good for something like that. I think that it's pretty obvious just looking at the architecture of it. Now, the thing is, we haven't seen it in recent times, right? But there is mass Viking is one way to counter it, but it seems like the understanding of everyone is a lot higher now than it was back when Phoenix Colossus was a thing. Back when it was a thing, you would try to go, 2-3 starport Phoenix or a Viking, right? And you would try to just have enough that you kind of slaughter their air, and if they overcommit onto the Phoenixes, you're just basically kiting your Vikings until you've basically won and you let your bio clear out. That game in particular, DoKyung hit while he still had the same amount of Phoenixes as there were Vikings. So the tanking there is pretty out of control, and Phoenixes kill Vikings very, very quickly as well. So if you're trying to right-click on their Colossus, already 6 is kind of one of those numbers where you're like, that doesn't kill 3 Colossus super fast. You want to play against Colossus, get more like 10 there to right-click them all down, right? Just target fire them. But with 6 Phoenixes there, that's not going to work. So really, at the time where DoKyung hit, before people start crying imbalance or something like that, because obviously INnoVation is a better player than DoKyung, DoKyung hit at the right time that you don't have to have better control than INnoVation there. Because
you kind of clobber him.
Yeah, it would have been better if he had no Phoenixes. I mean, no Vikings, rather than 6 Vikings there. 6 Vikings there is about as bad as you can do against what DoKyung had. So that's kind of what happened. And from there, obviously, he lost so many SCVs, and DoKyung had strong upgrades, and he just blunged him in the end. Like, INnoVation was...
You say blunged? You mean blunged? He just blunged him, guys.
He blunged him. It's like
Artosis
plunging.
2018, he blunged him in the end.
It's like plunging or bludgeoning, or it's putting them both together.
I've never gone blunging. Does it hurt? I mean...
Does it hurt? It does. It hurts both sides and everyone watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what happened there, just to quell the nerds in the chat. It's there's a lot of battles that you see that people get angry about, and it's like, listen, dude, if you go Vikings, you must have the right number, or they are so bad, and it's starport build time and lots of money and lots of supply.
It's interesting because if I could just expand on what you're saying, it seems like a lot of times Terran need to have this right assuming the player goes Colossus, the Protoss goes Colossus. It seems like there's a really correct number of air units you need to have to win the fight. Yeah. You want to have Vikings. You want to have enough Liberators.
Sure,
you want to counter everything. And when you're going for Colossus, the rate at which the game is unfolding, if you do it at the right time, Terran doesn't have ever the right number of air units, and you can actually just get in there and do some damage.
Yeah, that definitely can happen. And what we saw...
And we saw that Raven get gunned down as well. I mean, that's just a little something else, too. That could have been used to try to help out.
Yes,
yeah.
If he hits anti-armor missile or he hits interference matrix, both those are amazing in this situation, right? So that was definitely a big part of it. You're right about that. Let's see if this 4 mine drop coming in. Like,
now remember, this is how INnoVation killed DoKyung earlier.
Yeah, in the first match.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Oh my god.
Okay, you know what? Actually, not bad.
Yeah, he's going to get the medevac, and he's going to get all the Widow Mines, losing 7 probes. I still think this was okay for INnoVation, but you can't let any of these get out. Yeah, he's not going to either. He has a couple more lives.
Very important, but there's already a second medevac coming in here.
And just chasing those allows the second medevac to come down and see what it can get done.
Okay, it looks like this is going to be one where there's not really any probe casualties. I'm actually getting worried for INnoVation here. This is a lot that he's losing.
Yeah, the Widow Mines don't cost all that much. If you kill any Protoss unit with a Widow Mine, it can be kind of okay. I guess not a Zealot so much, but I don't think he's in trouble right now. I think INnoVation's doing just fine.
But, just to point out, it's not like this game is going like some of the games we saw previously. I mean, INnoVation actually just bopped DoKyung with Widow Mines in their previous series.
And some of them are getting some damage done. Look at this. He's sending more and more, just spreading them out.
Okay, this is
so funny.
So funny. Okay, and that's it. I mean, how many? 4 plus 4 plus 3. 11 Widow Mines gone down this game. It's a lot of Widow Mine kills. 10.
Oh, 10.
Wow,
Look at you. You don't even know math.
I don't even know math.
4 plus 4 plus 3
is 10. That's 10. Now we know.
That's 10.
Yeah.
Actually, I do want to mention something, because this reminds me, and I brought this up in the Deer series, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, when this was a popular strategy, Phoenix Colossus, and it was a little bit more Phoenix heavy back then, there was a specific game between Myungshik and Maru on Deadwing, where Maru, the entire game, it looked like Maru was stupid because he's flying into Phoenixes nonstop with medevacs full of 4 Widow Mines, and he ended up winning. And he utilized that as like a counter to it in a way, because it's like eventually he got a Widow Mine drop off that was decent, and then he just went Mass Marauders, and it was just, I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up for kind of this. We're seeing something weird, but it's not that this doesn't have precedent. This has precedent.
It does. It does. I feel like in this game, this is just the 50 years war of Phoenixes versus Widow Mines.
I know.
And they were just never able to make it right. Oh! Okay. A tag there on that army.
The Hat Phoenixes and the McMines here, man. They've hated each other forever.
I know.
They don't even know what started it. That's a lot of Widow Mines. And it's kind of funny because this is actually not even a Colossus play. He's gone into Blink after Phoenix, which is almost never done because they do the same thing almost. Oh my
Okay,
God.
here we go. And I don't think Billowy or DoKyung is watching.
Oh no.
Oh, but we are. Oh, wow.
13.
13 kills. That's so huge.
It is. That's a lot of kills.
By the way, INnoVation just suddenly 146 supply to 106. And I think actually, well, hold on, he can't go too far forward. He needs some of these Widow Mines to connect.
This is actually a fantastic hold.
Yeah, I mean, that's some real patience there. The problem, though, is that it's just Stalkers here. If he gets a few more Marauders with this. Whoa!
Wow, he actually sets that off. I thought he saw that. Maybe he thought it died. But you know what? The drop is good. It pushes back the entire army. The entire blink had to be used. Warping in some more units here. Can he actually hold on? If he can somehow stabilize this game,
Marauders can beat Stalkers. That's the problem.
That's for sure.
And even though these Stalkers are great at holding off the Widow Mines, INnoVation comboed this very nicely. And ultimately, it looks like the combination there for DoKyung is obsolete. GG. We're going to the last game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Final game of the night going to be coming up here.
INnoVation with his creepy crawler spider mines has had enough.
Creepy crawler spider mines.
That's right.
Ah, there's a spider mine in my hair.
Ah, there's spider mines under my skin. Man, Billowy knows. Gotta keep calling it Billowy. DoKyung knows that he just has one win. If he can get this next game, he will take down the 3-time GSL champion. Many argue the greatest Terran ever here in StarCraft 2. DoKyung, one of the lowest tier Code S players, one of the rookies, one of the underdogs, one of the extras, some would say. Not anymore. He's going to be cast as a main character in the round of 16, but he's got the biggest obstacle yet in his career. The Skynet Terran INnoVation. It's going to be on Acid Plant. Let's go!
DoKyung. INnoVation.
So an Acid Plant here, it's a very different map from what we've been seeing. It's going to come to a head a lot quicker. It's not a big long game macro map a lot of the time. I'd like to see Billowy mix this up a little bit. He's been doing the same couple strats over and over.
So if you guys are just not joining us, this has kind of been a theme we've been talking about with Billowy. He comes in with a really good plan. The build looks strong. It looks sharp strategically. A lot of times he doesn't execute it well. But beyond that, it's that he seems to have a rinse and repeat approach in his GSL Code S group stage games, where he's just kind of recycling openers. And the problem is this is why we have group stages early on in the tournament, is we want to see if you have more than one trick, because a well-rounded player with a deeper understanding is more likely to survive a group stage, because there's more opportunities given to them to exhibit different styles of play.
Indeed.
And so, you know, we've seen really good games and really bad games here from DoKyung, but we don't see enough successful games where he pushes through to the next round. And this is really the ultimate test here, is what is he going to do against INnoVation, someone who seems to be able to shut down almost anything anybody throws at him.
Yeah, that's really the question. And he's just going to make a Stargate, it looks like. I think that this is not a bad choice. If he's going to keep doing the same two builds, this is the right one out of them. Seems like the Phoenix play did pretty well for him in Game 1. In Game 2, it wasn't that bad, right? There was a couple things that went wrong, like that Widow Mine drop at the end that got 13 probes, and you know, he was a little bit sloppy cleaning up some of the Widow Mines. When the Widow Mine drops come, you have to be very precise with your Stargate units, because you can basically knock out Widow Mine drops without losing anything, right? So you really want to kind of strive for as close to that as you can get. Oh, Reactored Cyclones coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, this is something that I think is reasonably likely to just kill Billowy. Look at how heavily he's trying to hit this. Oh my god. Now, does he see what's coming out? Does he finish it? No. He saw a reactor factory.
He knows it's a possibility.
Yeah. Adepts don't do well against Cyclones at all.
They are comically bad against that.
The two Cyclones might just go kill him.
Now, INnoVation come in here with a cutthroat strategy. He wants to come in here and end this game before it even gets to start. Billowy, we need to see him react. We need to see him respond. We need to see him think on his feet.
If he made a shield battery, that would be immensely helpful. Oh no, he flies right past these Cyclones.
This is bad.
He needs every unit he has to have a chance of holding this. Really, truly, he does.
B-A-D. This is bad. Okay, here we go.
Oh boy.
Now you can see the Adepts are just no match. And now he goes for the pylon. Reaper not even taken out here.
Ooh.
One Adept in the yellow.
Yeah.
Phoenixes, I believe they're headed back, but they're not here yet. When Adept goes down, the probes are being evacuated, and a second Adept does go down.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a plan. He just shaded his shades like onto the Cyclones, and then canceled, and like.
Okay,
oh, man,
one is down. There's no Robo here. Cyclones targeting.
Oh, yeah, the Robo just dies. More coming in.
Has the dam been broken?
Yeah.
Is INnoVation? There it is. GG INnoVation. Once again, reasserting his dominance.
Yeah, Billowy falling sideways in his chair.
Yeah, he
Clearly
just got
happy with that.
Rug pulled out from under him.
Yeah. You know what? It was a solid strategy from INnoVation, and this goes back to what you were saying about how it's like the same strats over and over. Yeah. There you have it. Like if you're going Phoenixes and Depths, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time, especially if your first Phoenix is across the map when this comes.
I will say this is one of the better days here we've seen from DoKyung. I think that he's going to come back even stronger in the next season of the GSL.
He's a player that actually does have a ton of potential. This guy, you don't know, guys. In a couple of years, he might actually win a GSL. Like, he's got a certain style that's very hard to pull off, especially against top-end players. Like, you play against someone like INnoVation, you're trying to play macro defensive games like stats. Well, you got to be as good as stats to do that against INnoVation.
이신영 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
The final player to advance the round of 16 is
자, 먼저
INnoVation.
최종 진출로
Congratulations.
16강에 올라가게 됐습니다.
Thank you.
소감이 어떠신가요?
How do you feel?
도경이한테 좀 쉽게 이길 줄 알았는데 첫판 지고
First of all, to
나서
DoKyung,
설마
I thought I was going to have a much easier series against him.
되게 어려웠던
But when I lost the first
경기였던
game,
것 같아요.
네, 바로 그 점이 궁금합니다.
I thought,
1세트
oh man, I might get
패배에
eliminated.
대해서
I was really
얘기해볼게요. 아니 똑같은 거 계속하는 거 좋아하시는 분이고
Let's talk about NeoViolet.
또 기본기로 제압했던 상대인데
You're known for doing
1세트에서 굳이
a lot of that
전진
same
우승한
style,
이유가
that pushing
뭐였을까요?
style.
제가 원래 토스전 무난하게 많이 했었는데
What made you do the proxy
이번에
this time around? The Stargate
준호 형한테
proxy.
지고 나서
네.
토스전은
After I lost against Hero,
절대 못 이긴다라는 걸 깨달아가지고 좀
I figured if I just did more standard
다양하게 하고
builds,
있어요.
there's just a low chance overall to
그래서
win.
이번 최종도에서 그런 다양함이 나왔던 것
So I
같아요.
try to do a variety of
마지막
different
3세트
builds
심리전이
against
정말
Protoss. I try to
기가
mix it up more.
막혔습니다. 마지막 그 사이클론 이
And the
상대가
last match there,
지뢰를 의식하게
the mind game was very
해놓고 그렇게
effective.
꺼내 놓으신 게 맞는
That was
것
an excellent timing
어떤가요?
attack.
상대가
It
좀
seems like you were able to predict what he was going to do.
잘안 가고 트리플을 많이 하더라고요. 그래서
네.
또 애쉬드란 맵이
So,
드릴들을
DoKyung usually goes 3-gate.
거리가 좀 있다 보니까 네, 솔직히 자신이 없었어요. 그래서
네.
The rush distance is
그걸로라도
quite
좀
long.
크게 끝나라 제발 끝나라 하면서 간 건데
네.
다행히 좀 잘 통한 것 같아요.
So I knew if I
네.
could just get in there and do a lot of
그리고
damage
오늘
right away with the
경기의
Cyclones, it
승리는
could snowball, and I did, and so it worked out.
승자전이었겠죠. 승자전 아쉬움이 많이 남으실 것 같아요. 어떠셨어요?
Let's talk about that match against Dark. You must be pretty disappointed with that loss.
2세트 같은 경우에는
네.
너무 소모를 잘 당해가지고
So the second map
아무것도
on Blackwater,
못하고 졌는데 3세트는
I just couldn't do
잘
anything,
갔다고 생각을 했는데
and I just lost it.
막 감염증이
Third map on
자꾸
Blackpink, I thought I played pretty well.
네.
좀 정신이 없더라고요.
But he's faster.
네.
좀 더 연구를 해봐야
I got a
될
lot
것
of damage.
이
실력이
유령
좀 안 나온 것
So
같아요.
I ate too much damage from infestors.
그 유령과 감감하게 조합을
So I'm gonna have to
사용하는
make up for
것에
that.
있어서 아쉬움이 많이
I'm gonna have to
남으시는
improve my
거죠?
style overall for that.
사업회 방선을 좀 써봐야 될 것 같긴 해요.
아, 그 다음 주 패치에 대해서도 이시정
He says,
선수에게
I
꼭
think I should be
질문을 드려보고
utilizing
싶었어요.
other abilities on the
이
units.
패치가 되는데 어떻게 생각을 하시나요?
Let's talk about the Raven patch. What's your take on that?
저는 솔직히 지금도
Honestly,
저는 어려운데
네.
근데 까마귀가 너프 되
I still feel that Ghost Raven,
다른 게 버프
it's hard enough to
되지 않나요?
play.
네, 불곰
네,
버프가
그래서
되죠.
오히려 뭐 까마귀
I
쓰는
think we got
걸
nerfed
좀
on the
후반
Raven,
별로
but we
안
got
좋아해서
buffed with
저는
other units.
차라리 까마귀 대신 다른 게 세지면 더 좋을 것 같긴 해요.
Personally,
오히려
I prefer to not do Ghost Raven late game. So,
오히려 나에게
despite
힘이
the
될 것
adjustment,
같다.
그렇죠.
I think since other units are buffed, there's going to be other chances for me to exhibit my skill.
제가 또 잘 했거든요. 그래서 빨리빨리 끝내고
And
싶어요.
against Zergs, I
그럼
had
강용
pretty
선수
good games
말대로
against
밤까마귀
the
대장간
Marauders.
미사일을 데미지를 30에서 5로 줄여도
I'm-
상관없으시겠네요?
Been trying to finish my
까마귀
games more
없애고
quickly.
다른 거 세게 해줘도 될 것 같아요.
아 그러시군요. 자, 이 패치안에
So
대한
Darks and
생각을
Nerf
잘
Ravens,
들어봤습니다. 이제
should be reduced from 30 to 5.
조심하시긴데요. 어떻게 임하실 생각이신가요?
He said you could just delete the Raven. I don't even need it.
사실
How about the group nominations? What are your thoughts going into that?
제가 연습할 때는 되게 잘 하거든요. 그래서
When I practice,
자신감이 되게 많았었는데
wait, what?
영화한테 지고
Oh,
또
practice he does well?
in
지니까
practice he does well.
인형으로 못 이길 것 같은 그런 느낌이 들더라고요. 그래서
네.
I've lost against DoKyung. I had a hard time against Dark. So I'm a little bit more disappointed going into the
굉장히 기쁘신 것
group
같아요.
stages.
이 다음 경기까지 더 좋은 모습
I might try to
저희가
get
기대를
payback
하고
on them.
있겠습니다. 마지막으로 팬들에게 한마디 들려주세요.
Shoutouts to your fans.
실력에 비해서 좀 기대치가 큰데 다시 실력 끌어올리도록 하겠습니다.
I know I've got some high
다시 한번
expectations from
준비
people
진출
watching.
축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
I'm gonna keep working hard.
네, 이렇게 마지막
And try to
진출자
meet the
이신영
expectations
선수와
of my fans that
얘기해봤는데요.
I'm the
오늘 경기
best.
최종 정리 확인해 보시죠.
Well, that does it for the round of 32.
Some fancy wording of try hard to show good games. But
Yeah.
here you have it. It was actually a pretty close day overall. Like Ryung taking a map off Dark was kind of a big surprise. INnoVation smashing DoKyung, but then almost losing to him was kind of a
Yeah,
surprise as well.
DoKyung almost the comeback kid, but INnoVation ultimately. I mean, there's a reason why he's been so successful here at StarCraft.
It is so clear that the best two players advanced.
Right.
But again, DoKyung is someone that in the future might be very, very strong. I look forward to those days. Now, here is our racial distribution for the round of 16. 7 Protoss players, 5 Terran, and 4 Zerg. And as far as the actual level of this round of 16 is pretty out of control. I can definitely say we're missing Hero because he didn't make it in. And then other than that, Patience upsetting Scarlet was really the only upset amongst all the groups. I mean, there were some really stacked groups where a very good player that might be top 16 couldn't beat the other 2 players that definitely should be top 16, but overall, this was like extremely good. Look at this. We got the 4 Horsemen and Gumiho, which is the guy right outside of that, right? We have Su, Dark, Rogue, Solar. Like, you can't really get much better than this. I didn't get to go through the Protoss names, but like the usual suspects minus Hero are here.
Yeah, Hero's the only one who really didn't make it that we would expect to have. Moving on. Now, I think by the time we get to the round of 8, those numbers might look very, very different. Sometimes we have one race that's coming out looking pretty strong, but does not survive in the same percentage-wise as we move on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the best round of 32 we've ever had.
Yeah, it was
Today
really
was no
good.
exception.
Yeah, today did end up pretty good. I was a little bit nervous at first because some of the games were a little bit wonky, but it turned out very, very nice, very entertaining. So that round of 32 is over. There's not going to be any GSL except for the group nomination this upcoming week.
We will be having a week off, so we'll see you guys next week. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We'll see you next time.
Overgrowth. 2018 GSL Season 2 Overgrowth.